Hey yo, welcome to another Dino Reacts. Let's get to it. We got some news. It seems like Biden and the Democratic team are panicking. So let's get after it and see we can learn something new today. If you just found my channel, if you can, please like, comment, or subscribe. I'm a new YouTube channel just getting started, so send me some videos you might want me to cover or any other topics that you want to hear. So without further ado, let's get after it. Let's go.
Now, it's a good rule of thumb that whenever the White House staff rushes Joe Biden out to address the nation, it can only mean one thing. He's in big political trouble.
We've all seen the images, and they put to the test two fundamental American principles. Excuse me. Neither are we a lawless country. We're a civil society.
Well, things haven't looked very civil for the weeks on campus that we've been witnessing. Now, after a night of violent clashes on its main campus and after weeks of liberal dithering, UCLA finally gave the go-ahead for law enforcement to come in and dismantle the encampment.
So check this out. As you can see, I'm from LA. This is wild out here. It's popping up on all the universities out here in LA, and it kind of reminds us of like Occupy Wall Street, but kind of like a reverse. We knew Occupy Wall Street ended up getting taken over from the inside, but this time seems like it's completely all a sham. This is completely unrest in the minds of the students all across America, and they just trying to do the best they can to get them to really, really hate this country. So I'm really thinking that like at some point we're gonna need Homeland Security to really start doing some work and get into all these encampments, who's ever organizing them, because they'll become a greater threat to the country. Because if they can organize this many children to be future academic idiots, then I could definitely imagine them organizing something more greater against the country later on. So I would really like to think that our Homeland Security and our FBI can get their shit together and start worrying about the wrong things and start getting on to the people that can actually harm the country in its whole. But this is a big thing, and I'm really happy LA stepped in, because UCLA kids didn't even get to graduate this year, man. For all the kids that missed their high school graduation, they just missed their college graduation because people don't understand the difference between America's own personal interests. It's insane.
All the creatures hiding under their umbrellas and wearing their masks, imagine how dirty those masks are, were all arrested. So regular Americans are watching this and they're asking, why did things get so out of hand? Well, tonight I'm going to tell you why. Because the people screaming, "Long live the Intifada," find support in almost every nook and cranny of these schools. And I think UCLA was just afraid of offending one of its core constituencies. Now, Democrats have also been struggling between two competing interests here. For Biden, coming out too strongly against these creatures, it could hurt him against his activist base. But if he stayed silent too long, he'd lose even more voters in what I like to call normal America. Now, listen carefully to how Biden tried to thread the needle.
There is no place for hate speech or violence of any kind, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans. It's simply wrong. There's no place for racism in America. It's all wrong. It's un-American.
It's pathetic. How Jewish.
Like I said, as much as that might come off as some level of posturing for all the definite destruction his administration has sowed in this country, destruction and dissension, he got to get up there and say there's no place for racism, because that's absolutely true. But he's gonna have to acknowledge the fact that all of this is because of him. And in the bigger picture, Biden's gonna have to understand that the chaos that is all over the country, that his administration is like, and definitely the mainstream media is trying to like make us not believe is happening, is his fault. And we all feel it. You know what I'm saying? There's a group of people that they used to really talk about in the past that it still has a very good high voting power, and it's the silent majority. We're here. It's a bunch of us conservatives that are sprinkled through all of these Democratic districts from California to Illinois to New York, that we're gonna vote conservative, and we're seeing what you're doing, and we're slowly trying to wake people up to it, even if it's even at the cost of losing friendships, you know.
Students have been harassed. Other students have lost their schooling, graduation, etc. Police have been injured. And those responsible are the America-hating leftists. It's not rednecks from Mississippi. It's not MAGA people. It's the leftists, period. Nice try, Joe. But the sad truth is Biden just doesn't care if Jewish students are living in fear, and he certainly doesn't care about the strains on law enforcement. We're going to get into that in a little bit. If he cared about any of those things, he would have spoken out unequivocally far earlier than he did, and with real passion, with real conviction. After all, we know what Joe sounds like when he considers a crowd dangerous.
In the United States of America, people coming out of fields at night carrying torches, their veins bulging, preaching the same hate.
Listen, man, I'm gonna be straight up with y'all, man. Being a black man in this country, brother, this country has allowed me the greatest gifts, the greatest opportunities that I could ever have in my life. It's all about how much hard work I want to put in it. And here the Democrats keep beating the drum over and over and over again about this racism and the white man and so many problems and obstructions in this country. It's just a dead horse to me, man, because none of these things exist in real life, man. And there's got to be either one of two things. They don't exist and you can't work hard, or they do exist and I just can't see them. Because I don't see racism in there, man. I see too many beautiful, loving people, so many different people, multicultural, help me get to where I want to do, and this just keep beating the dead horse of racism into the ground. I can't stand it anymore. It's almost like it makes me want to vomit every time I hear them just keep using the same thing.
White supremacy, chanting the same Nazi phrases, not figuratively, literally.
Yeah.
That were being chanted in the 30s in Europe. Torches lit. Again.
Of course, he was talking there about Charlottesville. But notice Biden today didn't mention the hateful posters, the placards, those despicable chants from the anti-Israel crowd. Nothing. The only reason Biden surfaced at all this morning was because of the political fallout that was growing. A warning was issued from the island of misfit never-Trumpers.
Please, I'm trying to help you. I don't want Donald Trump to get elected, all right?
There you go.
Trying to help you. If you're too stupid to figure that out, this is not helping the people of Gaza, and this is not helping those of us who want to fight fascism in America.
We've got to ring some alarm bells. The election's 7 months out. If the polls on aggregate are to be believed, Donald Trump very well may be president in 7 months. What people are seeing when they turn on the media, they see violence and they see protests on college campuses. They see young people calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe, and it scares people.
Now, this obviously got the attention of the White House chief of staff and also, I think, the Biden campaign. The threat to Biden's reelection is so real that they decided to risk winding him up and sending him out to read prompter. And to really show you how seriously they take the situation, the White House held a meeting. They held a meeting on Wednesday of its anti-Semitism task force. Then it gave the story to Axios, its House media organ. And I love how Axios calls this a scoop. Meetings like Wednesday's are an attempt to identify concrete ways the Biden administration can address both the immediate challenges and address the long-term problem of growing anti-Semitism. Nice press release, guys. Look, this makes sense that Biden's handled it this way because his team has always considered every issue, every problem, whether it's inflation or the border or now these protests, a comms problem. They never consider changing their stance on an issue or, heaven forbid, ever changing their policies. They never think, gee, maybe we've gone too far left.
Does the president believe that at perhaps some of these universities that higher education has gone off the rails, that, something more fundamental has gone wrong on these college campuses?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. We believe it's a small number of students who are causing this disruption.
It's always small when it's their people. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's another thing, man. Like, the way they're so organized. And they all look in uniform, like, same outfits they're wearing, same signs, same posters. It's like, okay, if you're some kind of, like, evil, twisted, like, event former, they really got the children all riled up right now. All riled up. I mean, energy they can harness. It's a harnessable energy. Where are they? What direction does energy mean these two? Because right now it's like, it seems like it's just posting on campus, just slowly sparking at Jewish and Israeli students, you know. But like, where is this really going? Because this is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like it's just like it seems like the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. The same thing, the same energy.
Glib words like hers, is that going to reassure anyone? To Jewish Americans, it doesn't feel like a small number of people. They're terrified. And will Joe Biden's hostage tape speech today give voters a sense that things are going to calm down anytime soon? Will this "we can message ourselves out of any problem" approach work? Certainly work this late in an administration when the nation's facing serious challenges? Well, it doesn't look like it. Things are looking very grim tonight for Joe Biden. The website 538 compiles a historical list of presidential approval ratings, and at 38.9%, he's lower than both H.W. Bush and Jimmy Carter at the same exact point in their presidencies. And remember, both of those men lost re-election. I think by now Americans know that Biden's just a barely functioning figurehead of a president. His words certainly don't mean action.
Has there been any follow-up, or not follow-up, has there been any outreach from the White House to any of the campuses, administrators, leaders on these campuses?
I don't have anything to read out at this time.
Well, after vilifying Americans who support President Trump as Nazis and extremists, Biden tries to pretend that he values dissent.
We are not an authoritarian nation where we silence people or squash dissent. Dissent is essential to democracy. There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos.
Like, do the Democratic Party even listen to themselves? Man, I'm just tired of the virtue signaling, man. Just get it up on stage, like, straight up, like, pissing on my leg and like telling me it's rain. Like I can't fucking look around and see, like, what you're doing. See your tactic towards your opponent. And then act for, like, mercy, and then ask for forgiveness towards yourself if you do the same transgressions. I really, truly hope the Democrats understand that we can see it. We don't lack critical thinking as much as they obviously think we do. Like, oof.
Fact check, false. To his party, the right to dissent exists for one side and one side only, their side. Everyone else needs to be surveilled, constrained, geofenced, tracked, because they probably support the man they're trying to put in jail before the election. And let's face it, he's actually for silencing all the Americans who feel ripped off and disrespected by Biden and his party. They're all dissenters. And if they're doing everything in their power to silence Donald Trump, which they are right now, how is that respecting dissent? And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
All right, yeah, that's my clip for today. But let's give. I've never seen a time today where, even in the past, man, back when I was like really a Democrat, did we try to ever silence like the speech of conservatives? You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad and my grandparents were very heavy conservatives, but of course, like me, growing up here, being in a liberal state with my mom, of course I was going to end up being Democrat. But now that I've awakened, you know, and I understand what's going on, they hate that the Democrats have towards conservatives is like, it's insane. I don't understand it, because it wasn't. I never hated conservatives. I just thought they didn't get it. But not to the point where, like, I never wanted them to lose their job. I worked for them. made friends with them, had beers with them. It was never like I wanted you to like be you're stupid or you don't know how to think for yourself. But like now that I entered into my conservative phase and the support I've been showing openly for conservative ideals and for my own ability to get things done fiscally without asking for help, just thinking my way through it. And there's so many opportunities in this country for you if you just want to work hard. There's always avenues for you to get through. You don't have to have a handout. I've embraced it and understand that, along with bringing myself back to Jesus Christ. It seems like once you do those things, like the Democrats really don't like you for it. it's purely interesting to me. Or maybe just the people I'm meeting with. But for the most part, I would really like to see this country come back together, and God bless America. So thank you guys for listening to me today. Like you said, if you have any suggestions on how I can build my channel a little bit better, comment down below. Like and subscribe. Push me through the algorithm. I'm a new YouTuber, and I'm out. Chef's kiss.